right, we will go ahead and start putting stuff together. I think people are still jumping on here, and apologies, our group me, which is who we run our automated emails through, apparently has decided it is taking off Friday. So we did not get the graphic out. So apologies there. It looks like we still got some folks popping on here. I'll give it another minute.
Chris, can you hear me?
I got you.
Oh, okay. I thought we lost volume there. Didn't hear anything.
No, we're trying to get folks on. We had an issue with the passcode or the link this morning.
That was the longest I've ever heard you be quiet, though. I thought I lost audio.
I know, right? It's it's bugging me. I feel like I got to be saying something.
That's it.
Since we have some of you uplines on, if you could just make sure that all of your downlines, if you guys can get me their correct email, because a lot of times after they onboard, they do change it and I don't get that. So if you could make sure that all of your downlines, you give me their new correct email that you communicate with, that would be awesome. So I can make sure and get our agency email out to them every Friday and any other important announcements that we need. I mean, I know this morning was a huge cluster, but I try not to be like that. So if you can make sure that I get any updated email contacts, that would be awesome. because I've had some trouble with that here lately, people not getting their correct ones that I'm sending, or a bunch of like that they don't come through, like they've maybe just totally deleted that email. So thank you.
All right. Well, listen, we have got a timeline we've got to stay on. So this meeting is recorded. We will make sure we send out to everybody who was not able to jump on. I just copied the link and sent an email out to a couple here, so maybe even kind of get distributed and be able to get on. So, but we will make sure we send out a recording to anyone that wasn't able to jump on, and cut off the first 10 minutes of us staring at the screen and trying to figure out how to get everybody on. So no problem, that happens. Technical issues happen. So let's see if we can go ahead and get the slideshow to cooperate. We'll get this kicked off here and share my screen. All right. And screen share is what. All right, there we go. I'm paranoid. Can we see it? All right, cool. All right. Yes. Yes, I'm afraid to ask. I don't want to break anything else this morning. All right, welcome, team. Got a great call lined up for you. We are going to roll through this. Listen fast, because we're going to make up some ground here. All right, so let's hit some leaderboards. We had, this was from February. So obviously we've had a couple, 3 weeks now where we've been either on other calls or special calls. So anyway, wanted to hit a leaderboard for the month of February. We had Adrian Kifley, had it looked like a first app for $477. Congratulations. Kenneth Nelson, $2,364. APV, myself, put in 4,102 for the month. Greg Aist, we had 5,883. Jim Arch had 9,418. Donna Bates, 11,394. Mr. Spencer Cushion, 13,263. Sydney Lee, 13,501. And the top two, look at this, separated by about $250, maybe not even that. Fighting it out, Stella Dinwiddie, 24,246 in the number 2 spot. Number 1, Miss Stacy Love. Congratulations on a monster month, 24,539. Great month, Stacy. App count, was just let's hit top 5 here real quick. Just kind of keep it short. Spencer had 9 applications. Donna had 11. Jim had 12. Stella had 23. And look at Stacy with 35 applications. That is a fantastic month of app count. For the base shops, this was again February. Menefee base shop came in at 56,371. The Dinwiddie agency at 53,049. App count, Menefee base shop 62. Dinwiddie came in at 43 applications. We did have a new writer. Again, hats off and congratulations to Adrian. Keep adding those apps. Little steps take you into a promising career. Golden Chicken Award winner. I'm not going to spend a lot of time because on an announcement. I am going to spend some time saying congratulations to Stacy Love, and a huge shout out to Stacy, not only for last month but already this month, 2 back-to-back 10K plus weeks. Absolutely on a tear. And Golden Chicken Award, we're going to keep doing this, but it's going to evolve a little bit because I had fun shopping for sit socks, and all kinds of other fun stuff popped up in my shopping. And so now I've got all these other ideas for the Golden Chicken Award, and the trophy may be changing here very soon. Sit tight, stand by, and it's going to be fun. We'll have more of the fun stuff like we did with the Golden Chicken Award and sit socks. So All right, so far for the week, we are at 16 applications, 20,666. Now, this is obviously as of last night, and so a lot of business. In fact, I know for a fact a lot of business is coming in today, still yet to be entered. So it is what it is in preparation for this. Month to date, so far we're at 41,610. We have agency owners again, just so far for the week. The Menefee base shop at 15,669. And Dinwiddie Agency at 4997. We have app count. Stacy leading the charge again, 7 apps, and I'm wondering if that's probably an app split. I think that's percentage size, probably a carryover from Opt. But top so far for the week, Stacy Love, 7 applications, 6590. Oh yeah. Ash made a note off to the side there, and I'm just not reading over far enough. Split transaction, but hey, that means more people getting into the app action. Spencer Cushion with 5 apps, 5476. Sydney Lee, 3859. Brad Lombardi back in the mix, 1 application, $3,601, and Jim, 1 app, $1,138. Hey, we want to shout out March birthdays. Krista Kinney had a birthday on the 1st. Jim Arch on the 21st. Jim, big one. He turns 30, so big party for Jim. And then Mark Feldstein, 28. And Mark, don't know you well enough. This is maybe 35th birthday. Maybe, I don't know. I don't want to guess, but anyway, happy birthday to all our March birthdays. Role play, we do this on Mondays. Show up, have fun, get some practice before you go to game time. And this is an opportunity to try out your verbiage if you want to make some tweaks, or if you just have an area where you feel like maybe things are not flowing as smoothly in the appointment and you need a safe place to be able to run that a few times and get some positive feedback on what you can do to adjust. Join us on Mondays. We have our welcome to the team call Wednesday evenings at 7. So those of you who are building agencies, make sure that you send those folks. We want to have time to get to know them in a non-business setting where we're just hanging out and chatting about them and their lives. Orders, we do have the Quilty digital lead orders, and then the ability to add call-in leads. Escaped me for a second there. So those states highlighted in yellow is what the company's identifying. They've got extra capacity to be able to generate extra call-in leads. So if you feel like your resources are lacking, take note and talk with your upline on how to add that in. Lighthouse leads, don't have a lot of information on this yet, but I do know from the people that I'm talking to are behind the scenes, they are super excited about this because these are in-house tested leads. And so we've got some great lead resources right now, but some of these that are coming out, I'm hearing great things about already in the works. FIF resets, join that on Thursdays. Again, we're kind of moving along. Social Q, we have several who are involved in that. We're not going to spend a lot of time because you're getting updates on that, but make sure you kind of keep track. There's a lot of moving pieces, and I get that. And I will confess I'm a little overwhelmed with all the meetings and stuff. So just want to keep this in front of you so you remember that there's a lot going on there. Just put that in your calendars. Hey, big shout out. This is exciting. We have 3 of our agents in the Fall Classic contest to win $100,000, one of the biggest prizes in the industry, if not the biggest. We have Stella Dinwiddie, Spencer Cushion, Stacy Love in that first running. So there's going to be a cutoff, and I forget when the cutoff is for the first iteration, but we already have 3 agents in the mix in the running. So guys, keep up the great work. And the beautiful thing about it is, it doesn't matter where you rank right now, honestly, as long as you're in that top 300, go to the next level, because now you reset and the contest starts over. So everybody who is in the running has that chance to go after that 100K. Book club, we have a great time. Book club gang, need to join us. Great conversations. We keep it short and sweet, 30 minutes, but a lot of content in a short period of time. So join us on Thursdays. Dial rooms, we just a huge thank you to Stella and Stacy for hosting these, and such a wonderful time to be able to jump on and work together in our virtual office. Get an opportunity to be around other people, and digitally speaking. This business can be isolating, so it's good to jump on the screen and see that other people are out there doing what you're doing and making it happen. Conference, guys, we're going to start beating the drum a little louder on this one, because this is going to sneak up on us fast. Make sure that you that the actions that you're taking today will pay off for you in August. We're going to talk a little bit about that's kind of the theme this morning, talking about planning ahead. So conference August 9th through 11th in Denver. We had a great time. We will have a better time. So be there, be square. Contests that are going on, 2 contests to Switzerland. I happen to be back to back. So, hey, qualify for both and spend a couple of weeks in Switzerland. How about that? Meeting and announcements, just keep an eye on your email. Ash does a great job putting together a summary of we get a lot bombarded with a lot of stuff. So that's coming through on a regular basis. So that email kind of consolidates it all into one place. So take a moment here. Any leaders have any announcements or any shout outs or anything you want to touch on real quick before we kind of dive into content?
I'll go then. I was thinking Stacy might pop up. Sydney Lee. I almost called you Sydney Love because I have so much love for you. Sydney Lee, like this girl, I just can't say enough. You guys, she has behind the scenes been doing so much with her DFL. You've seen her cases that she writes about on Crew, and she is one of the most relentless. That's one of our core values, a relentless pursuit of personal development. She's relentless in her mission. She is determined. She is the most caring person. And the crazy thing that I just really want to celebrate is that most everybody she helps is off of referrals, whether it's friends of mine I've referred to her, Stacy's referred to her, Chris has. And for those of you that, so you saw that percentage on the leaderboard with Stacy, you can have a chunk of that too. If you're like, well, I don't know how to help people with DFL, that's okay. Every one of your clients, not everyone, but you have a lot of clients that need this, that they've got mortgages that are like $500,000 or $300,000, and they've got a lot of other bills. And, and but they got a great income. Though, your clients are out there, and those are the people you can just refer them to Sydney. Or if you're upline to Spencer, I know he's licensed, but Sydney, I'm going to say it again, Sydney Lee will help your clients, and they will walk away. I can't tell you how many clients that, express their sincere gratitude and thanks of what she's doing. And I just want to give another shout out as it pertains to referrals with Jim Arch. This last week, one of his clients referred to him, and he's starting to tap into that referral market, and now he's seen it. And I'm so proud of him. You're seeing him climbing up on those leaderboards, and just really, really proud of Greg. Your name was up there too, buddy. I know some of you came a little later, February, but March is here, and it's never too late, you guys. Let me just tell you this, and I'll end it with this. And I'm so proud of everybody on my team, but don't let a bad lead make a bad day. Don't do it. And there's so many families out there that want your help. So March is not over. I love how you're going to see it shoot up. And I just wanted to say all of that. So thank you so much, Chris, for letting me share that.
Yay, and quick shout out to Mark, Christina, Stefan, just for being here. You know, we always talk about showing up is half the battle. And it really makes a difference week after week after week. You may not see the results right away, but I promise you, you stick with it. You get all of this good stuff poured into you, and it's just going to spill out of you. So like, keep sticking with it, keep showing up, keep making your dials. And I promise, like, there's room for you on those leaderboards. They're just waiting, and there's lots of families waiting for you to help them too. So that's it. Happy Friday.
Awesome. Great thought and great segue. Stacy teed it up without even probably really realizing what we're getting ready to dive into, but I wanted to talk about that because this week I watched a lot of inspirational stuff on YouTube. I learn a lot. I'm very visual, and so I like to watch a lot of videos, and just happened to stumble across a video, and accidentally, quite frankly, because what caught my attention was this person talking about how to build a following, a video following. And I was like, that could be, you know, what we're talking about, social cue and everything, that could be really good. And it turned out the guy was a gym owner who has a podcast, which happens to be a very popular podcast. Never heard of him because I don't listen to that kind of stuff. And it turns out he's one of the top podcasts in the country. And so he was talking about his journey. And so I learned a lesson from a gym owner this week. And I wanted to share that with you because, his theme was talking about goals as we look at them in terms of decades. And it struck a chord with me because when I came in, in 2016, I came into Symmetry. First conference, January 2016. The company was over the moon excited. It was in Raleigh, North Carolina. The first time we had 1,000 signups, or over 1,000 signups for conference. It was a huge milestone. Now, those of you who were in Denver, we had many thousands, but that just tells you the progression of this company and the track that we're on. But the reason I bring that up is because as I sat in my first conference, January 2016, I can't tell you really anything that anybody said on that stage. It's been too long ago. I probably go back in my notes and find it. But I can tell you one thing, because I heard Brandon Ellison from stage, my first conference, as I sit in the back of the room where there's 1,000 people, say, if every one of you will just stay here 10 years, you will be millionaires. Now, that was a bombastic statement, quite frankly, because, I mean, yes, we were a fast growing company. Yes, we had 1,000 agents for the first time in this event, but we were doing what as a company? I have to go back to the numbers, but probably 30 million or something like that annually, 30 to 50 million annually. And he's saying, everybody just stay here 10 years from that point, from 2016. But you know what? I mean, I'm here 7 years and I'm starting to see it. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Obviously, as the agency continues to grow, as we all work together to build, bring new people on, and I start seeing the numbers go up incrementally every year. And then they introduce a program like EARS, and all of a sudden I get a mailer every year that says, hey, congratulations, you qualified for a block of EARS. What are they worth? Nothing right now. But we see where we're headed and what they could be worth. And you say, well, I've missed out on EARS. Well, trust me, you haven't missed out, because the thing that is building EARS is where the real money is. That's just kind of the icing or bonus, if you will. The thing that we are building, and I can tell you, I've had many conversations with top level people. Jacob, who's on the advisory board. There you go. Stella's got a couple of EARS. I know Spencer. So we've got people that have qualified for that. You say, well, gosh, I missed out on that program. Trust me, you haven't, because I know there are things in the works that if it's not EARS, and EARS may be extended, but if it's not EARS, there are other things that are going to be as good, if not better, because that's what the culture of this company is building things for people to tap into that will help them grow their own personal wealth and success, which then helps the company grow its wealth and success. I mean, this is a company that believes in investing down to the ground level, brand new agent, because they know they put that money out, it comes back to them in multiples. They invest in people and people invest back in them. And so, you know, as I listened to that gym owner talking about his building his organization, his gym, his supplements company, his online podcast and video video platforms and everything that he's got. And he was talking about the journey and how people look at him and say, yeah, but it's easy for you. Look at all the followers you've got. And he said, look, go back and look at my first video. Look at the tag on how many views I had on that, you know, 7 years ago. And in the fact that I was putting out content year after year, week after week, year after year for the first 3 or 4 years with really no following, but I kept doing it. I just kept doing it. And, you know, there's a great statement, and I can't remember if this was his quote or he was quoting somebody else. He said, winners and losers have the same goals. Winners and losers have the same goals. Everybody wants to make $1 million plus, 10 million, 100 million. Everybody wants to lose weight, get fit, get the best shape of their life. I would add to that, everybody wants to become the top level contract equity partner in Symmetry Financial Group. Your goals don't make you unique. You know, only the ones that do the small steps over and over again for years are the ones who win. So the concept that he was bringing, because, you know, he talked about how he built this following. He said it wasn't about the goal. I made it about the activity. Make the activity the outcome, not the goal. And that's the big trap that we all fall into. Well, I'm not at agency owner. I'm not at a team leader. I'm not at top producer. I'm not at elite producer. So this thing doesn't work, obviously. But if you focus on the process, regardless of the outcome, you will, if you keep doing it, you know, you will get there. And I love the concept that he shared. He's like, and we say this all the time, high or low, don't buy into the emotions of the highs or the lows. He said, if you're winning, great, just keep doing the activity. If you haven't won yet, and we underline that word yet, if you're not there yet, you haven't figured out the sales part yet, you haven't got the team going yet, you haven't hit agency owner yet, you haven't hit the top contract yet, keep doing it. Because if you think in days, the time passes no matter what, and the outcomes will be there. And sometimes when we think in days, those outcomes are too short term. But if you think in decades, when you make your goals, that decade passes and it will show you exactly what you were thinking. So why don't we? Well, much of the stuff that we focus on today will be irrelevant 10 years from now. That's a concept that I took from Dr. Benjamin Hardy. You've heard me mention him several times. Much of the things that we focus on today will be irrelevant 10 years from now. So you've got to boil down your life and your business goals to what is going to have a decade impact for me. What are the things that I can do that absolutely matter to your 10-year self? When you vision that 10-year self, what are the things that I will be doing and investing in personally, professionally, financially? What are the things that I will be putting my time, resources, and energy in that will matter most to my 10-year self? You know, and Dr. Hardy says, we don't see the world as it is, but as you are, or as you've been conditioned to see it. So that's a big trap that we fall into. Our conditioning, our current behavior, you know, what current behaviors are stopping us from achieving what we want to attain. He's got a great thought process on this, because a lot of times we say, well, here's our goal. Here's what I want to achieve. But then we wind up self-sabotaging by doing or not doing activities that we need to be doing to get where we want to go. And why is that? Well, Dr. Hardy says, well, it comes down to hidden commitments based on that are stopping our behaviors. And you know, what are the assumptions or beliefs internally, subconsciously, that are stopping us, you know, from achieving these commitments? So you think of you know, what we can all relate to. Well, I'm overweight. I want to lose weight. And so I'm going to go on this diet or eating plan or exercise. But then we wind up not losing it, or we wind up putting it back on because maybe there's a subconscious belief system in place that says, well, I'm a foodie. I enjoy food. I enjoy the flavors. I enjoy the time spent with other people over food. And so we then subconsciously, not intentionally, we subconsciously sabotage ourselves because we're not aware of that underlying commitment. So we relate that to this business. We say, I want to build a team. But maybe subconsciously we're saying, am I good enough to build a team? Am I worthy to be followed? Am I, you know, am I a good enough leader? Or maybe I want to be a top producer, but, you know, I'm not a people person. So, you know, subconsciously we say I'm not a people person. So that prevents us from making the number of dials. We do just enough to try to get by to kind of check a numbers box, but we don't go all out because, you know, I don't like the interaction. I don't like the negativity. I'm a people lover. So when somebody says something bad to me, it affects me. And so those hidden beliefs or hidden assumptions are things that stop us from achieving where we want to go. And so you have to stop and you have to identify and get real with ourselves and understand what those things are. But also, again, looking at the long view, what can I do to counteract that or to change that narrative? When you identify those, you can not only achieve the activity, but then you can expand your goal. You start thinking in 10 years in bigger vision terms. Because the reality is people overestimate what they can do in a year, but they underestimate what they can do in 10 years. So, you know, the challenge to you is, you know, I think a lot of times, even in this, where we've got the track laid out for us, where we say, okay, I go from agent to team leader to key leader to agency owner, and then I go to agency director, regional, and then I start expanding and go to managing partner, senior vice president, and then I get to the top of the contract, and then I become an equity partner and multiple time over, and that's great. I mean, that's great that we've got that track. But is that somebody else's vision? Is your vision bigger than that? Could it be bigger than that? Could you have a bigger vision than that if you were just to take off the horse blinders, so to speak, and set massive goals? And then be real enough with yourself to set those goals, but then turn around and look and say, okay, what am I doing today? What activities am I doing today? What limiting beliefs or subconscious beliefs do I have in place that are stopping me from leveling up or doing that activity? And what do I need to do to go to that next level? You know, I love at a conference in Tucson about 4 years ago now, Sean Shannon from Stage said, you know, if you were to earn $125,000 a year, $150,000 a year, if you break that down into an hourly rate, that's $125 an hour activity. He said, what activities are you doing that's $125 an hour activity, or are the activities you doing? You know, how many times do we get caught up? Well, I can't, you know, I can't hire somebody to go, you know, do follow-up emails or send out, you know, you know, things to my clients or do some touch points. So I'm just going to do it myself. Well, is that business owner mindset? Is that $125 an hour thinking? And I realize sometimes we've got to get to that level, but you got to paint that vision. And then you also have to ask yourself, what are my limiting beliefs? Maybe my limiting beliefs are that I can't invest in myself until I get to a certain level. So my challenge to you is you know, as we look at what we've got laid out in front of us, the opportunities that we have, that we look at this as a long game. You know, it pains me when I talk to recruit and they say something like, well, I'll give this a try, or we'll see how this does for the next 90 days or the next year. I love it. This gym owner said he was talking with a vendor that he was working with, that they were working on a video package to put together for a program for YouTube. And, you know, the vendor was trying to explain, you know, some of the moving pieces and how this was going to take, how long this was going to take. And he said, I don't really care. He said, I'm on a 5 to 10 year timeline. So we'll take a look in 10 years where we're at. We'll see if this worked. And the vendor was shocked. He said, I've never had anybody come to me and say, I don't care what happens right now. We'll look at it in 10 years. He said, everybody comes to me saying, what can I get in the next 90 days in the form of conversions, you know, leads, traffic. But this guy's playing the long game. And he realizes if he just takes small steps over and over again, this is another concept. If people say, well, what if I'm doing the wrong thing? Or what am I putting the wrong energy in, or the wrong, you won't know that until you take the steps. You know, how can you know if you're going the wrong direction if you're standing still? How can you change course if you're not taking enough steps fast enough? You won't course correct fast enough to be able to get back on track. So you have to take action. And, you know, the thing about activity is it's a constant process of adjustment. You know, people think a lot of times, well, I'm going to set up, you know, I'm going to have this thing dialed in perfect. You know, I'm going to have the perfect mix of leads. I'm going to have the perfect scripting down. You know, we've got great scripting, but I'm going to have my perfect twist on it. I'm going to have, you know, everything is going to be dialed in before I get started. And quite frankly, that is, you know, that's procrastination by planning. You know, that is lack of action due to planning. So, you know, the question is, how long does it take? Well, as long as it takes. That's my challenge to you. How long does it take? As long as it takes. I'm in it for a decade. And then I will assess and see where I'm at then and figure out where to go next. That's my challenge to you all. All right, gang. Listen, I'm keeping it short this morning. I just had the thoughts that were on my mind, and I think this is working out anyway, especially with our little technical issues starting out. So we'll go ahead and wrap the call early, let everybody get off on their day. I know we have, again, a bunch of appointments and business still yet to come in, stuff to be loaded up, and several good-sized cases that are pending and yet to be loaded. So let's finish out the week strong. And again, I encourage you all to look at your plans for the next decade. Don't get caught up in the next year. What do you want to achieve in the next 10 years, and what can you do today? Small steps that are going to start you in that direction. What would your 10-year self look back and say to you now to thank you for the activity and the steps that you took today and you started? All right. Thanks all for jumping on. Hopefully we've got some value out of this and something to think about for your business as you move forward. As always, please reach out if you've got some ideas that you want to bounce around for where you go in this business and how to make that happen. Tap in.
Thanks.
All right, gang. Thank you all. Have a great Friday.
Thanks, Chris.